We're back with the Performance Matters podcast here with myself, Matrix, and Coach Miles across the table. First off, big shout out to our sponsor, petemethnerphotography, the premier sportsographer in the Niagara region. You can give them an email at petemethnerphotography@gmail.com or check out his website, www.petemethnerphotography.com. Awesome dude, support local. Today on the episode, we got some great feedback. People love the rapid fire questions. So, we're kicking off the new school year, so we thought, why the hell not? Let's do an in-season rapid-fire questions. These are all just pulled off the internet. Again, we're trying to keep it a little more fun. So Miles has the question list, and we're just going to shoot them up.
Okay, so here we go, people. We got a couple different sections. Okay, so organized by training and lifting. Be a bunch of questions there. Conditioning and recovery, game day prep, and then lifestyle and balance. So these are all submitted to us by our clients, our athletes. So we're just going to go ahead and kind of weigh in on these with providing a little bit of context, but not too much. Okay, because each one could probably be its own podcast. Okay, so first things first, training and lifting. One lift you must keep in season.
One lift must keep in season. Some sort of squat. I'm gonna say some sort of squat. Again, I want to say clean, everything else too, but again, not talking sprinting, not talking jumping.
Yeah, lift. Something with a bar.
Some with a bar. I'm going to say squat. Or, some variation of squat, whatever the pattern is best for the athlete. Just because of vertical force implication. You have multiple range challenge. You can, depending on the context, you want to put them through. Total body compound, big neuromuscular gains as well. So I just think it's, the king. But then what would you pick?
Well, that's the thing about going second. I definitely would echo that. I guess only because you said that. Why not? I'll say some sort of split squat.
I thought you were going to say deadlift because there's really the debate. You know what I mean? Like the king of exercises or the queen of exercises or the prince or what do you want to call it? I always heard it was like deadlift is the king because it's simply just the most primal thing. You just pick something heavy off the ground, his total body, all that shit.
Biggest neural stimulus, right?
Biggest neural stimulus, all that good jazz. So I thought for sure, it's either going to be squat or deadlift. I thought for sure it was going to be one of those two.
I was only thinking because most sports are partial range, arguably, and deadlifts are more of a partial range than a squat is. That's what I thought.
But really, you think about the deadlift itself, the reason it only is set at the height it is just because it was based off Olympic lifting. They picked
standard bars or the plate size.
A standard plate size that was just built for Olympic lifting, just so when they drop the bar or falls on them, it doesn't crush their neck. That was the only reason the diameter is created. So all of a sudden now we use this standard plate diameter as the metric for deadlifting off the ground when squatting can be catered to your limb length, whereas deadlift is nope, it's just the same plate diameter, cut and dry mold. So it's kind of like a weird, yes, the king of all exercise, but it's not really adaptable to fit everyone really the same.
And as amazing as it is, there's no joint that's taken through a full range of motion.
Exactly.
The hip is not, the knee is not, the ankle is not.
Yeah.
So that's why I would say squats. Because you said squats, I'll say split squats for the added, hip extension mobility of the back leg, only because squats are already taken.
Just to spice it up.
Yep. We're going to skip the second one because it says squats in season. Do you love or hate them? Should be pretty obvious. Next one is very good. Heavy weights or lighter explosive work in season?
In season? No. I'm going to say heavy weights. Again, no context. If I had to pick one, I'm going to go heavy weights. The reason being, there's still a high neuromuscular stimulus, right? It's filling a bucket they're not going to get. Now, context being what's prescription? That's going to matter a lot too, right? So it's going to be relative. But I'm going to take the high neuromuscular stimulus. That's going to build that capacity and spin that play. That's going to have a greater, I would say, diverse range of positive implications in transfer, right? Not saying the light and fast is inappropriate too, but it's just
the nature of having to pick one.
The nature of having to pick one. I'm going to pick the heavier just because there's nowhere to hide. If it's heavy, it's heavy. If you say light and fast, well, how fast are we talking? How light are we talking, right? I think there's a lot to kind of dissect with that. But if I had to pick one between the two, assuming all things equal, I'm going to pick the heavier stimulus.
Yeah, and because again,
safely.
Exactly, because again, the stimulus you're going to get from that light explosive work is mostly happening at practice.
Exactly.
That bucket is getting filled.
It's filling the gap that they're not really going to get access to.
Exactly. So one answer only. Heavyweights makes more sense if you had to pick one.
Yeah.
Next one. What's the most overrated in-season lift?
Overrated in-season lift.
Yeah.
Considering all time and everything else, I'm a big fan of accessory work, but I think a lot of in-season lift, so it can't just be
like an exercise.
Yeah, it has to be okay.
Yeah, not a lift to like a session, more like a
overrated in-season lift. I'm gonna say Nordic curls.
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
gonna say
excellent.
Nordic curls. Reason being, a lot of people just don't have the strength or capacity to actually do them. I think you could do holds and things of that nature, with that would get more bang for the buck. But
And you're probably sprinting even more than normal because you're practicing.
yeah, you have
Yeah.
more. You're doing a lot of stuff. It's like, and really, the Nordic itself is not going to replicate any of that stuff. So it's like, I think if I had to pick an overrated one, particularly, it would just be the Nordics, just because they are butchered so fucking badly.
Totally.
I'd rather put them on GHR or do like some sort of positional holds or bench Nordics, even where it's, have some constraints. But if I'm just kind of pulling out my ass, I'm gonna say fuck it. I'm gonna say Nordics. I'm gonna say fucking yeah, full range Nordics. I would say even like maybe hip thrust is a close second, but or tricep kickbacks. Can we go arms?
That's overrated all year.
Yeah, that's not just in season. That's overrated all year.
It's overrated because it makes no friggin' sense.
Yeah, okay, fuck it then. We'll stick with full range Nordics. What
Yeah.
about you?
Well, just because it says in season, and in season we don't have a lot of time, and we want
Yeah.
the most bang for your buck, I would probably in general say a lot of the isolation work, like biceps, like triceps,
Yeah.
because you should still be doing your chin ups, you should still be doing your presses.
Yeah.
Not that those things don't matter, but when you only have limited time and you have to cut the fluff,
Yeah.
my blanket statement would be a lot of the very remedial work probably could take a back seat.
Yeah, or like building the fucking warm up. Like when I think
Yeah.
in season, like okay, we already have time constraints, we
Yeah.
have capacity constraints, so you have to get the most bang for the buck and fill gaps that aren't being filled. Like if you're running a good efficient practice, you can build in a lot of like these doses of speed work and agility work and
Yeah.
mobility and prep work and quote unquote isolation work if you want to do that. But we need to fill the gaps that aren't being filled to maintain again general physical preparation. Like we need to earn the right to split hairs on individuality. And we're not really gonna have that luxury. So it's like make sure you're doing your compound
Yeah.
pressing, pulling, squatting, hinging, lunging, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And like
You don't need 18 sets of lateral raises and
no, the rest is
you
fucking
know.
the rest is fucking fluff. I'm gonna say that.
Exactly. Okay, next one. What's the most underrated in-season lift? Obviously, the other side of that coin. We kind of already got to it.
Yeah. I would say if it's underrated, like you still gotta squat any variation, whether it's like you can
That was going to be my answer. Like,
yeah,
the only underrated factor is making sure you fit the squat to the person in front of you.
fit the squat of the person with the right. You could. There's so much variation with it. Like front load it. You could back load it.
Yeah.
You can do like split variations. You could do partial range of motion depending on. It's just very diverse in the
Totally.
pattern, and you're not ever going to really lose. You're not really ever going to lose from doing squats. You know what I mean? Like you're not. You could do literally like tempo work, squat holds. You could do split squat hold. Like you can't go wrong by building a squat pattern or variation into the season. Like
Right.
you're gonna win. There's no losing there, really.
Absolutely.
If
And I
you-
think that's the one.
if
yeah.
you program it correctly, you can definitely fuck it up.
That's the one caveat everybody needs to realize. From question one was, what's your favorite lift? You said squat. You did not say back squat. You did not
Yeah.
say front squat.
Yeah.
So it was meant to be all encompassing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Should I stick more to the barbells or dumbbells during the season?
Okay, fuck. If I had to pick, no context. Well, yeah, okay, I'll give two contexts. Okay, if you only had one, barbell is something because you can do heavier load. It goes back to like if I had to pick one, like, okay, I
Yeah.
can do more with the barbell just because of the variability and the tool dynamic of it. However, dumbbells are they're pretty much parallel. Like,
Yeah.
fuck, you can do the same thing with dumbbells. Like, I love the squats. So it's like, but if I have to squat heavy, it's like you're going to have to pick probably a barbell at some point up. Right. But dumbbells, it's very accommodating for like shoulder implications. You can do different contralateral, ipsilateral loading patterns with it. So I hate to pick between the two, but if I had to pick one, like stick to barbells then. If you let a gun to your head, pick barbell just because of the diversity of nature and you can still do a lot with it. And the intent, you can get more intent typically out of it. Whereas dumbbells do have that limitation. But that doesn't mean they're like still love dumbbells. It's not, I would not say it's this or that. It's parallel.
So I'm going to answer the other way only because I have to.
Uh-huh.
And if we just agree for an hour straight, it's not
Yeah.
going to be
Well, yeah.
watchable.
What would you say?
So I think if you had to say dumbbells, I think maybe the argument would be that sport creates a lot of imbalances.
Yeah.
Take a pitcher or something.
Yeah.
Right arm pitcher, right arm quarterback, whatever. A boxer's always in the same stance for the most part. So I guess doing a lot of unilateral loading with the dumbbells might help prevent those imbalances from getting out of control. You know, I'm like, because I would pick the barbell too, but if I had to try to
Yeah,
rationalize
like-
the other side of the coin,
Yeah, there's umpteen positives to a dumbbell,
Yeah.
right? Like the loading pattern, like the accommodation of like how you can just change the grip style or the
even
direction.
throughout the
Yeah, you can change direction. You can add twists into it. Like there's
Yeah.
so many things you can do. Like if you're doing a split squat, you do a contralateral rear elbow split squat with a twist. You can have a different hand position for your shoulder, for your wrist. Like it's so diverse. Like it's not this or that, but like yeah, there's tons of again gun to the head barbell just because it sticks with the all-encompassing more bang for the buck in terms of loading
Yeah.
and intent. You can still get the same intent with dumbbell and just more variation and accommodation.
Yeah.
But if you had to like say I'm going like max effort, I have to hit this neuromuscular effect, you're probably going to get that more with the barbell, or your chances are higher with the barbell. But the dumbbell has a ton of other pluses to it, so it's not taken away from it.
Excellent. Okay, so the next one, I think our answer, well, if we have the same answer, I think our answer might actually surprise some people. But it says, machines in season, helpful or useless?
No, helpful. Absolutely helpful. I think they can get a bad rap. I don't think, I think it's just, it's all these devices or implementation, like barbells, dumbbells, machines, cables, whatever. They're just tools. And there's a lot of ways you can target certain adaptations and certain muscle groups and movement patterns using different tools. So it's like a machine is just that. It's another tool. Hack squat machines. You can use leg presses from different things. You can do even the Smith machine. It gets a lot of shit, but Smith machine, you can do some great isometrics with it without balance being an issue. You can do a lot of that. Like there's a ton of things. So yeah, use machines. But again, what is the intent? Like what are you chasing? And then the tool should fit the adaptation, like the stimulus gain you're looking to get. And you can do that with machines if, again, programmed correctly and in a logistical order.
Totally. I think commonly understood is people use these words like, oh, free weights are more functional than machines because you have to balance.
What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah. The thing about machines that's nice is that your outputs can be very high because you don't have to think, because you don't have to balance, right?
It's a natural constraint.
Yeah.
It's a natural constraint. I think they're great for teaching tool. Now, the caveat is, yes, like, you're more free body when you have barbells and dumbbells, and you have like better you will learn better intrinsic control and autonomy that way. But when teaching, it's like you can teach a lot of just the effort style things, but it's so different than using a trap bar or deadlift. You want to teach someone how to, hey, I want you to make sure you put some intent in the ground with a good position. It's like, well, okay, well, if you had to teach them on a barbell back squat versus a trap bar deadlift, I'm like, trap bar deadlift, it's a safer range of motion. They literally just step into the hex and just literally cue is chest up push. So it's like they're still learning the pattern and the position, but there's less cues and less chances of error initially. So it's like, okay, great. So you're getting the same quote unquote bang for the buck almost with less cueing and coaching issues. So it's like use that constraint. Machines the same thing. Caveat to that is machines are not built for everyone's body type. Like it's literally usually standards are set for the average height male, 5'10", something X amount of pounds, different, certain arm lengths, leg lengths. So machines have their constraints just like that. Also, although a lot of them that you're trying to use are usually very flexible for that. So yeah, it's like initially learning on, and then of course when you want to use them for the actual intent with experienced lifters, yeah, use them. Like absolutely use them. If you have available, use them. Just make sure you know what you're doing with them.
Is 5'10" average?
I mean,
is that confirmed? No, I'm kidding.
I fucking say.
Okay, last thing I'll say about the machines real quick that is probably overlooked.
5'10".
No, I'm just being a prick. Last thing about the machines, really, really good, really easy, really user friendly for doing isometrics.
Oh, huge!
Which in season,
huge plus.
Again, good all year, but especially in season, they're really protective. Like we learned from Alex and Tara, they're like protective from all the eccentric stress. So not that you can't do like split squat holds and stuff, but to your point, Smith machines, leg extension holds at different angles of knee extension, everything like that. If you have access, that's actually way easier with machines than it is free weights.
That whole like tendon health aspect of it, like the quote unquote smaller isolation accessory. I'm like,
fine with free weights, but easier with machines.
Fine with free weights, fine with dumbbells. It's like, but I think you can get a better stimulus with better intent, better contraction with a machine, just because you have that constraint in place.
Totally. Okay, foam roller or massage gun? This should be in the recovery section, but.
Well, fuck. I don't fucking care for either one, but again, it makes you feel good.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
I would say, I'm gonna say foam roller. Fuck it. Foam roller. I think
same outcome, but it's just cheaper.
Same outcome, and it's really just cheaper.
Yeah,
that's it. I think again, nothing against them. If it makes you feel good, go for it and do it. I personally don't really care. If I'm on a time crunch with my athletes, come in earlier if you want to use the foam roller. Yeah. The other volleyball guys show up like 10, 15 minutes early. They want to do like a quick foam roll, some feel good.
Yeah.
Hey, if it works, fucking go for it. But is it the end all be all? No. If it's more of like, does it make you feel good? Do you like doing it? Yeah, then fucking do it. It's not going to take away from it. Fuck them.
They say if you feel good, you play good.
There you go.
If you play good, they pay good.
There you go.
So you know what? Yeah, it feels great. The gun is not going to give you any better effects than the foam roller. So save your money. Spend that money on some steaks or something.
Really? There you go. Spend money on like a fucking what do you call it? Those sleep machines or something like that. It makes a nice
Exactly.
white noise. You can get a
Oh,
better
buddy.
night's sleep. There's the real recovery trick.
Amen.
There's a real recovery trick.
Okay. If you had to pick, lift before practice or after?
After.
Okay, and why?
The reason being is because if practice in season is like the most important thing, right? The most important thing. You want them as fresh. You want them as fresh or less fatigued. You want less fatigue accumulation as possible for practice. And the reason being is because it's not just you want them fresh so they can perform the skills and do the drills in practice. There is a context of learning skills. If people are fatigued, they learn and retain information less compared to when they're fresh, right? So if you have to teach your athletes at practice a new skill, a new drill, or like reinforce some things, you need them less fatigued so they have better retention of the feedback and it can better apply it, right? Number two to that is they're going to be in a chaotic environment. Being fresh in a chaotic environment in practice, right? Whether you're on the court, on the field, there's a lot of unpredictability. Less fatigue is going to help you execute the skills in practice. The nice thing about the weight room is typically it's a closed environment. There's less chaos to manage, right? Like there's no one coming at you while you're doing a squat. It's like this is your lane. You have this one pattern. That's all you have to focus on. So if I had to pick one, that. Plus, we are supplementary compared to practice in season. So therefore, we take second priority to that. And then the nice part of how we can program it is like if we have a quote unquote higher intensity practice, we can have a quote unquote higher intensity lift right after. Plus the slight accumulated fatigue from practice will also help manage, I would say ego lifting in the gym because now like you have that stimulus already kind of spun and it should be a little bit easier to manage load in that respect too. Nothing to say you can't lift for practice. We have teams lift for practice as well. It just goes the other way. It's like, okay, now we're kind of like, revving up the engine for practice, right? But still intentful. But if I had an ideal world, logistics aside, no, lift after practice. Like do your practice first in season and then come lift after, right? Or ideal world, it's like whatever time your practice is, before or after, it's not going to matter as long as you have 5 or 6 hours recovery in between. You can lift in the morning at like 9 or 10, and you got to practice at like 6 or 7, right? Or you can like lift in the morning at 7 or 8, you have practice 4 or 5, or whatever that is. So, but gun to the head, I'm picking after for in season.
Excellent. I think just quick too, it's often overlooked. Like people are so much talking about like CNS fatigue. I think people forget the CNS is. It's your brain and your spinal cord. So like you said, a lot of time with CNS, they're like, oh, it's going to be your high outputs like your sprints, your jumps, your heavy work. Yes. But it's also learning, right? Like, I think that's often glossed over.
It's really overlooked as the learning. It's like the whole point of practice is to enhance and refine your skills. Whether you're doing the same drills at a faster pace against better competition with more accuracy required, still need less fatigue, right?
Yeah. The brain that's now learning those things is fatigued from the sprints and jumps and whatever.
Exactly, right? So it's like not saying, that is overlooked, and I think it needs to be considered, sport coaches alike. It's like if you bag them at practice and at the end of practice you're trying to teach them all these skills, like, well, fuck, good luck.
Yeah, and then you get upset when it doesn't come to fruition.
Yeah, they're learning new skills and retaining new skills is exhausting. Right. We may not feel quote unquote tired, but it's like there is a fog to it that needs to be considered, right?
Perfect. Okay, so moving on. Next section, conditioning and recovery. Mm-hmm. Okay, so best recovery method after a game.
Eat, drink water, sleep.
Simple.
It's really not complicated.
It actually is that simple.
It's really not that complicated. It's like number one, like make sure you're eating whole foods across the day. And if you need help on that, let us know. We got all that shit. But biggest thing I'm going to prioritize is sleep. Like make sure you have a pretty structured bedtime routine, wake up routine, and make sure your sleep hygiene is on point. The more you do that, things will naturally fall in place. The best part is it's fucking free.
Yeah.
Go to bed at a good time in a cold room, dark, no noise, no phone, for free, and you will get 10 times better. Right? Stay hydrated, 4 liters a day for men, and eat whole foods, right? A good balance, like 30-35% of your meal should be like protein, 40% approximately should be like vegetables or fruits. The other 30% or 25%, whatever that is carbs, and then you fuel as needed before or after heavy sessions. Simple. Like that's best recovery. Fuck your pre-workout. Fuck your love creatine and protein shakes, but that's in addition to not supplementing for, right? So everything else, fuck the rest is all small, flashy fluff that might seem easy to ingest. Oh, I just got a protein shake in, all that's but you still need whole food.
But I was eating pizza and chicken wings. And
you can't train you can't train like a wild animal, practice like a wild animal, and eat and sleep like a fucking child.
Right.
You can't do that. It's not going to be effective. So it's like you can do all those things and leave those low hanging fruits on the table. You're not going to perform to your quote unquote optimal state because you're not fueling and regenerating. You're not resupplying or regenerating at a rate you should be doing those things. Right. So everyone else, fuck the rest of the small shit. Go to bed on time. Get 8 to 9 hours if you can. Reasonable time in bed, like in bed, 9:30, 10 o'clock ideally. No later. Wake up like 6. Lots of water, whole foods, fuel is necessary.
You heard it here first. Okay. Ice bath or hot tub?
Oh, fuck. I guess ice bath if you had to pick one. Again, keep in mind, ice bath, again, it's a good sensation because you're reducing inflammation, but caveat to that is your body has inflammation for a reason. It should be used just to manage. I would say if you had to ice bath, it's to manage chronic inflammation. Like if you're getting beat up at practice every day and you feel sore and swollen and everything else like that, yes, the ice bath can relieve that so you can perform again, but also understand that icing something is going to reduce blood flow, which is necessary for recovery or repairing damage.
Right. Bring the nutrients.
Bring in the nutrients, getting rid of all the crap that's causing damage. So you're going to hinder that process by whatever the timeline might be. But if we're just ice bathing and we had to pick one, like ice bath. As long as you do a good warm up, ice bath after. If it makes you feel good, maybe it'll help you sleep. If you're going to bed right after, it's kind of nice. You're cool. You go to bed, that'll help. Either one is not really going to make, I don't think, the biggest difference.
Right.
If it helps manage chronic inflammation of like constant soreness, it might help. Then I'd have to reevaluate, why am I always sore?
Right.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that's like the science versus the practicality.
Yeah.
Like the science might not really actually support either one. But sometimes if it's like special cases. You're like in a training camp, you're like between 2 days, you're like in the middle of the day and you're like, my knees can't even bend. Like I feel like I'm crippled, right?
Yeah.
I jump in the ice bath, I feel a little better. Like science might not support it, but you're like, okay, at least now I can get through the evening practice.
It's like the foam rollers. It's like, there might be like even if it makes you worse by 2%, it's like if it makes you feel good and you perform 10% better, then fuck it. Like it's, this is what I call splitting hairs. It's like focus on the big pillars of recovery. Good food, lots of water, lots of, the sodium potassium needed for electrolyte recovery. Eat whole foods.
Yeah.
Snack is necessary. The rest is splitting hairs that may or may not matter, but just make you feel good.
Exactly. Some hairs are worth splitting and some aren't, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Stretching or mobility drills, which should I focus on? The reality is good strength training is mobility training.
It is.
Fair question, but
loaded, it's like loaded stretching. Like do a warrior's pose in yoga. Just put your hands here with a dumbbell. It's a split squat-ish variation. It's like, it is like that. If I had to pick one, I would just do stretching is like passive.
Yeah.
Mobility is active.
Right.
So I'm gonna pick the active version.
Excellent.
That's what I'm gonna say. And again, passive is great, but it doesn't mean you have control over it. Like this is one of those things like, someone can, you can stretch yourself or someone can put you in a position. Doesn't mean you can put yourself or control yourself in that position. So if I had to pick one, look to increase active range of motion or through dynamic mobility, through whatever stationary mobility. But that's going to be, I think I had to pick one. I'm going to go with that.
Excellent. So next one's probably going to sound like a broken record, but it's worth addressing because it's becoming more and more common. So Normatec boots, game changer or overhyped?
Overhyped. It's
same as a foam roller. It's the same as it's really not making you worse, but
it's not making you worse. But if you had to, I don't know how much money people spend on this. These are feel good modalities.
Yeah.
They might have some very, very slight positive effect, but again, it's like, do we need to are we at that level where we really need that?
Right.
Like, are we on the $1 million line here? Or are you a high school athlete or like a college athlete that's, have you made playoffs?
Yeah.
No, then okay, let's look at the big rocks first. It's like, are you sleeping right? Are you staying hydrated? Are you managing your stress as best you can? Life, social, training, practice, everything. Eating whole foods. Then we can start talking about the Normatec boot shit.
Yeah.
If we're talking about that and you're not even going to bed at a reasonable hour, we're having the wrong conversation.
Stepping over $100 bills, picking up pennies.
That's all we're trying to do. It's like and again, we get these questions a lot. Like, I need Theraguns. It's like, well, no, you need to fucking go to bed.
Right.
You need to drink water. You got to eat some whole foods, and you literally have to just manage the chaos in your life a little bit better to give yourself the best chance to regenerate. Normatec boots aren't a magic pill.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's feel good stuff. You know what? If you have access to them and make you feel good, go ahead. If you don't have them, you're not missing out.
That's the biggest thing is FOMO, right? If you're missing out.
Yeah, you're not missing out. Just because it has a flashy, cool factor. Can you imagine going to a fucking place that's like fucking, you do dog shit training, you do dog shit recovery, you have dog shit lifestyle, but they have Normatec boots and it looks cool.
Yeah.
Like, where the hell are we getting that information? Like, what the fuck do we do with that?
Yeah, what's the priority?
What's the priority?
I just picture like an image of a young athlete laying in bed at night, the Normatec boots on, the massage gun in one hand, the cell phone in the other. They're on TikTok. It's 11:30 p.m. or something, and the can of Coke on the dresser. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but don't worry about it, guys. I got the boots on.
But I'm locked in. Like,
don't worry, I'm locked in.
It's probably a Snapchat. Like, yo, check me out. I'm recovering.
Check me out. Gotta heal up.
I got my blue light cell phone at midnight here, but I'm dialed, man. I'm taking care of my shit. I'm getting the body right. They love that shit. I'm getting the body right. They would say
the body's taken care of. Check that box.
Lord. Okay. Man. Next one's actually going to be pretty good. Who recovers faster, vets or rookies?
Rookies. And the reason I say this is because if you're a vet, I'm assuming, and when I say veteran, it means you have a lot of experience, which I assume you have higher outputs. So if I'm comparing a rookie to a vet.
And more mileage, obviously.
And more mileage. I'm going to say that a veteran has more, like you said, more mileage, but I'm going to assume they also have higher outputs.
Yeah.
So if you compare like a 20-year-old to like a 25-year-old, I would assume in this context, the 25-year-old is probably a better athlete physically. So better athletes or those that have higher outputs, remember, if they're a better athlete, like they're sprinting or jumping, lifting, their outputs are naturally higher than the rookie in this example, which means that they take longer to recover from, right? It's like a 10-year-old running down the 100-meter dash versus a Olympic sprinter running the 100-meter dash, right? That Olympic sprinter is putting way more force in the ground at a way faster rate, right? He has a bigger engine.
Yeah.
Bigger engines need more time to cool down to do it again. They need more time to warm up. They need more time to cool down, right? That's why a lot of these younger athletes that do like a hard output thing, they can go again pretty quickly and not have fear of injury or breaking down, because it's not that they're not trying as hard as they can. It's literally the physics of their outputs are not that high. They're not putting high enough outputs in the ground or wherever they're doing to need as much recovery to do it again.
They could run a pretty good 100 probably like 2 minutes later.
Exactly.
We know it's usually a minute rest per 10 yards you run, but they could probably be 2 or 3 minutes go ahead. The other guy might be 2 or 3 weeks.
Exactly. So that's why in this context, who recovers faster? I'm going to say the rookies recover faster simply because if I'm comparing and putting the example of context that all things equal, the vet is a higher output athlete compared to the rookie is going to recover faster. And then you want to add more caveats to it. Maybe the veteran's a little bit older compared to the rookie. So just the natural, the chronological age of how you recover. That's why a lot of things with veterans, if you're an experienced athlete, you've earned the right to start splitting hairs and training more specific and training and also recovering more specifically, right? So I'm going to say rookies recover faster just based on that scenario, simply saying vets have higher outputs. Higher outputs require longer time to regenerate. Simple.
And that's a funny caveat. I think you would agree. If I had to answer it, I would say rookies recover faster, but I think vets take their recovery more seriously.
Oh, I would agree.
Put more conscious thought into it. Put more, you know what I mean?
I would agree.
It's kind of funny.
If you're a high elite level veteran, right? You know what I mean? Like
you didn't get there by accident.
It's not like you're, Michael Jordan's rookie season, you're in the fucking cocaine Chicago Bulls, circus Chicago Bulls over here, like.
Right.
But like, if you're all things equal, they're all high performers. The vets, they take that way more serious because it's not about just getting to where you are. It's how can I stay first string where I'm at and not have a rookie come take my spot. So
and if I didn't take my recovery seriously, the wheels probably would have fell off.
Exactly. It's like
so naturally
now it matters more.
Yeah. So naturally the rookies recover faster, but oftentimes the vets that take it more seriously and put more conscious thought into it.
Yeah, because it matters more, and they don't have the youth aspect to default back to. It's like having a hangover when you're 21. You'd be drinking till you're midnight and be fucking sober by 6.
Yeah.
Now it takes you 72 hours
to
recover from a hangover. It's like you don't
hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah, you don't have the clock on your side.
Okay, a couple quick ones here. I think they're quick. Extra cardio in season, needed or wasted energy?
I would say if all things equal, it's wasted energy.
Yeah, if you think you need cardio in season, your practice is not hard enough.
Yeah, and furthermore, it's like, well, what do you mean by cardio? What do you mean by like? Are you able, like, if you're playing basketball, are you able to play 40 minutes?
Yeah,
or whatever you're like. What's a high minutes player getting? 25, 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Can you play 25, 30 minutes hard? How long is your duration on the court? How long is your time on the bench? Typically, if you can do that and still have the outputs and the accuracy and the frequency without slowing down, you're probably in pretty good shape to do so. If you had to split hairs and say, well, it's this or that, I think it's a waste. I think you could be doing other things that fill those buckets in your training regimen compared to. I'm not saying conditioning is not important.
Yeah.
It's not saying it's not important or it's needed. I'm simply saying that if I had to pick one or the other in season, fill the buckets you're not getting filled versus practice, you're typically doing the things with enough, low intensity cardio, if you will, to make it beneficial to you. I would argue the other way, like you need to do more high intensity conditioning if you need it to improve your lactate threshold and all this other stuff. One or the other, I would say it's a waste of energy if I had to pick one.
Right. off season you get a ton of conditioning because you don't have practice.
Yeah.
So now that you have practice,
Yeah.
you kind of hope, you know.
Yeah, we got to fill the other buckets now.
Okay, favorite off day recovery routine.
Sleep in. Make sure you have a good breakfast, good meals, and then if you like, stay active in some way, whether it's going for like
nature.
Yeah, do something that is the whole point of recovery day is lower stress, right? Yeah. Like if you're a basketball player, maybe go and like throw a football around or something. Yeah. Like, it doesn't have to be like sprinting. Have some fun, so it's low stress, right? You can stay active. You can do like a dynamic mobility routine. You could stretch. This is like the feel good day. Like feel good with some activity, so you feel on, you feel refreshed. Go for a walk, be in nature if you can. You know, try to avoid just binging Netflix for a whole day. Like, do some sort of like low intensity activity that you enjoy. You know, just to feel good. But
some of that mobility stretching stuff. If
you really want to do it, pepper in there. That's what I think would be a great day. You know, for athletes if they have the time. If not, just prioritize rest, like good sleep. Yeah, doesn't mean binging on your phone and everything else. Like there's a spectrum to it. So. It's more important to focus on the quality of sleep and allowing your body to regenerate. But do some, if you enjoy doing some low activity exercise or something like that, like stay fresh, have fun, feel good, be smart.
Yeah, I think one big thing I would add, just from what I've heard from talking to athletes over the years, is a lot of them think, okay, it's an off day, like, I'm going to eat less because my body doesn't need as much fuel because I'm not training. To be honest, I would eat the same, if not more, because you need to fuel the recovery. Yeah, right?
It's just because you think just because your machine's not fucking on the road driving doesn't mean the engine doesn't need fuel.
Right. Exactly. Okay. This is kind of impossible. I guess that's kind of the point. Sleep or nutrition, which matters more in season?
Sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep. And again, caveat, both matter, but sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep. Like risk of injury already goes up if you're already sleep deprived. Right, like you can be hungry for a couple of days and still do okay. Not saying optimal, but you could. Sleep shit hits a fan really, really quickly. So I'm going to prioritize sleep.
Okay, last one about recovery here. Cheat meal or a clean meal after a win?
Why the fuck would you do a cheat meal? what? How the fuck does that make sense? That's not recovery. That's like saying, hey, I won the first game. I got a game next weekend, but I'm going to go binge drinking. How does that sound? Well, are you going to go binge drinking, or are you asking me how that sounds? Like, it's like, it's a bad idea. Are you going to do it anyway? Well, that's a different story. So it's like cheat meal or clean meal. No, eat fucking normal. Why do you feel like the need to have a cheat meal? What the fuck's a cheat meal?
Yeah, because the recovery process starts right after the game.
Yeah, like.
So that's a hell of a foot to start off on.
What the fuck is a cheat meal? Like, yeah, I just did a very high intensity thing. I just won a game. Right after the game, I'm going to go fuck my body up? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I guess to reframe the question, I guess, if I'm going to have a cheat meal, what's the best time to have it?
After you win a championship.
Exactly.
Go ahead, because then you have a whole season until the next one.
Exactly. Okay, moving on from conditioning recovery, you're going to look at some game day prep.
Game day prep.
And a lot of
Love game day prep.
A lot of these are personal.
If done properly.
So, pre-game meal of choice.
Pre-game meal of choice. Something easily digestible. So whatever, like if you're in season, it's really not the time to experiment with diet too much.
That's the biggest thing, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so find something that has, sufficient amount of carbs and protein. I don't want to be specific, but like pick a protein source, pick a carbohydrate source, throw in fruits and veggies, but make sure it's easily digestible, right? So some people like pre-game meal could be like oatmeal, Greek yogurt, maybe some nuts or some fruit or whatever. Like you don't have to have a hefty steak or piece of chicken before a game, but make sure something that's easily digestible that provides readily accessible energy that does not upset your stomach, right? So, I've always just like something simple, like could be a PB&J sandwich, it could be some fruit, you can have some nuts, some stuff like that. That's a little bit of protein source that's easy to digest, has some fiber, but something that's just, ironically, it sounds bland, but it's digestible, provides readily accessible energy, and it's tolerable on your stomach, whatever that looks like for them.
Yeah, it's almost easier to probably say what to avoid.
Avoid high fatty foods.
Yeah,
right.
So you don't want things that are gonna take a long time to digest and sit. So you probably don't want high fiber foods. You probably don't want high fat foods, and you probably don't want really high protein foods before the game.
Yeah, not too high protein. Eat some, but
because these things are gonna take a while to digest.
They'll take a while to digest, and you'll probably cramp up, not feel great, bloated.
Right.
It just makes you feel slow.
Right, absolutely. So then from there, taking those guidelines, you kind of can figure out. Yeah. Everyone has preferences and intolerances and whatever. even from different carb sources, I know for me, if I eat rice versus like pasta, like I think pasta I'll feel like heavy.
Yeah, I feel bloated.
But the next guy will feel great.
Yeah.
So it's not about getting on here and saying eat this, eat that. It's more like guidelines.
Yeah.
I think
we did that pretty good then.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
I would say so.
Okay, this one for me kind of changed over the years. Game day pump up. Do you prefer music or silence?
Music. Like everyone's gonna be different, but I prefer music. Like
Yeah.
whatever you gotta do to get in that fucking demonic state of mind. Not everyone feels the same way, but I think there's I've always liked a little bit of a quiet period, but then like when I have to get ramped up, as long as you don't get too worked up where your stress gets too high. I think people kind of forget that part too. It's like there is like an optimal alert period. Like you don't want to be so high or too low. You have to be like kind of quote unquote almost that middle ground for some. Like some sports you need to be kind of hyped up for like 5 seconds, like Olympic lifting or powerlifting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a quick
The
second.
meet doesn't take that long.
Yeah, it's a very quick output and you're done. But like if you're playing a game like 40 to an hour minutes, you know what I mean? Like you can't just be you'll be exhausted.
Yeah.
But not saying music can be the only thing, just as an example. But
yeah.
Whatever kind of gets your alertness and your arousal up tolerably, but you're still able to execute and not fatigue yourself from being too aroused too quickly. Because the drop is going to be a very steep decline.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue I think is it's kind of like the food thing where it's personal, but I know for me it even evolved as I throughout my career. Like high school was like headbanging music or crazy like rap or like let's get pumped up, whatever. I found when I got to university it was two things. A, the game's way more sophisticated, so you actually have to think.
Yeah.
So I found like if I was in too much of that aroused state,
yeah,
my thought process would not be as clear.
Yeah, too rigid, too stiff.
Too stiff, too rigid, exactly, too aroused. And not only that, like a college football game's like 3 hours. Yeah. So it's hard to maintain that arousal for 3 hours straight. So I found for me, it actually kind of evolved to where like there was always music involved. I would not want to be radio silence, but maybe the music I was listening to definitely evolved from like very arousing to actually like pretty calm because I felt like okay, this way I can think and I can sustain a full game.
Yeah.
So again, whatever works for you.
Yeah.
Best warm up drill.
Oh fuck. There's not really a best warm up drill. Depends on what you're trying to do. Warming up for what? If you're warming
up, this section is game day prep. I should quantify that.
Oh fuck. Then the best warm up drill is gradually ramp up the intensity of the movements you're going to do in your sport, right? If it's basketball, okay, practice your free throws, practice your drills, and then introduce more chaos progressively in your warm up, right? Like do your free throws as an example unblocked, or then like you have free throws with like someone in your face for whatever.
Yeah.
You can do like run ups to the rim and then have someone in the way. It's literally just the thing you're going to do at game day. Just make sure you start in a closed environment and gradually introduce open and chaotic variables to prep yourself for that, right? And again, that's just the drills itself. In terms of like physical warm up, it's going to be no different than any other general warm up you would do. Like make sure you ground up, ramp up intensity, full range of motion, and then any additional prep you need to like kind of feel good, go do it. Like there's not really a best game day routine, right? Is your body prepared to do the task you have to do? Okay, start from ground zero, gradually ramp up intensity and introduce more chaos. Then you can go and it should be an assimilation from the end of your warm up to game day ready.
I think totally. And the funny thing about that is it actually might even change game to game based on the plan of attack on who you're playing and your pregame scout, right? The cool thing when we train the River Lions is that we will all have the team dynamic warm up. And then in addition to that, a lot of guys will get kind of what they need, which is all kind of personalized and different. So it just speaks to the fact that it takes time. It takes a whole career maybe to kind of get into your own routine and figure out.
Yeah, you got to learn what makes you tick and what makes like. I would just tell athletes like, hey, like we always say journal, journal every day after practice. Like, hey, how would you think practice went for you? What'd you work on? Like, do you think it was good practice? Why? And then if you can track over the months and say, oh, on these good days I had, here's what I was doing. Great. So then you could replicate and scale that and becomes more consistent. You're getting closer to the mark. But otherwise, but that takes time to learn what makes you tick and what doesn't make you tick.
Right.
That was different.
Any superstitions or routines you ever had?
Superstitions or routines? First, when I was competing, I think, I remember like every night before a tournament, I would always just have a bath. I don't know why. I would just have a bath. It sounds kind of fucking stupid, but I would literally sit in a bath with candles, listen to calm music, just sit in a fucking tub and just lie there.
Something you wouldn't do on any other night.
Like we're in a hotel traveling, had a tub, I'm fucking hopping in it. That was usually my routine. And the next day, just, I don't know, it felt like it was soothing for me. I don't really have any superstitions or any of that kind of shit. I would just watch film if I had to and then go out there and compete. It's like, hey, you're fighting. Like, focus more on what you do well versus what they might do, right? Like I worry about me and then they worry about me. So that's what I want, right? So focus on what I execute well, maximize my strengths, minimize my weak points, and the rest will take care of itself. If I'm worried too much what they're going to do, I'm always going to be on the defense. I'm never going to be able to score any points. So you need to focus on what you do well and get comfortable getting into positions that help you succeed. But that was just my routine.
Absolutely, yeah. Not something I ever really had, but I always am fascinated. Yeah. I do like hearing other people's.
Yeah, I don't know why.
People have some hilarious ones, some different crazy ones, and some of the really out there ones. I always wonder, like, how did that start? Like the first time, you know, like yours is pretty normal, but some people have these crazy ones.
I don't really know why I started. I always love baths anyway. I was just like, I'll have a bath for a tournament. If I'm stressed or like, yeah, it's soothing to me. Made me feel decent. I don't know if there's any science to it. Maybe it took away from some shit. I have no idea, but it made me feel good in the moment.
Totally. Okay. Some of these I'm going to skip. Like, who on your team takes the longest to get ready? Who cares? This is a good one. Pre-game nap or no nap?
Me personally, I'm not a big nap guy. It's going to be personal. Like, some people might benefit from naps. My only thing with napping is, like, if naps work for you, great. Just make sure it doesn't take away from your actual bedtime sleep. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say. If it makes you feel energized, then do them. Yeah. If you feel groggy, maybe it's not for you.
And don't wait till game day to experiment.
Like and don't wait till in-season to experiment. Practice off-season stuff.
It also depends because sometimes you got a 1 p.m. kickoff, sometimes you got a 7 p.m. kickoff.
Yeah, so it's right. It's a little going to fluctuate, but final works for you. Not for or against either one.
Perfect. Okay, and some of these, I'm going to skip. Okay, this is good. Lifestyle and balance. Here's our last section.
Lifestyle and balance.
Yeah, lifestyle and balance. This is kind of funny. Worst time to have a test, day before or day after a game or tournament?
Worst day, like a school test?
Yeah.
Worst day of a test before?
This one is all kind of like school and athletics put together, this section.
Okay, worst time to have a test before or after a game?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to say before a game.
Yeah.
Because you're stressing about two things.
Yeah.
Fuck, it's basic. It's like, I mean, keep in mind your priority, because here's the caveat. It's like, what's your priority? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, are you...
What is it or what should it be?
Yeah. So I'm assuming like most meatheads, it's like, yes, you're there for sports and you're doing school by default. Probably. Not saying you should, but let's just be devil's advocate. Let's say you're there for sports first, school second. Then, having a test before your game is probably not going to be the best for your mental health in that respect. But if you're more academic than sports, then you could say the opposite and say, well, no, I'd rather just have my test before the game so I can get my high stress thing out of the way and go play a game. But then that's up to you. Like, what do you value as a priority? So I would say I'd rather have a test after a game than before, personally, just for stress.
This one's funny. I gotta go first. It says, what's harder to balance with school, practices or workouts? In my opinion, the reality is like they're mandatory, so it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like I always find a lot of peace in like things in my life I can't control. I actually find a lot more peace in because I'm like hard, easy, it's irrelevant because you have to go. So you might as well not even let it be in your
matter.
Why is it conscious thought, right?
Like, why are you giving yourself the option?
Because it's not. So it's like it's not even worth that. The thing is, when you discuss it, you're breathing life into that mentality that like, oh, this is hard. This
like you have a choice. Like, no, you don't have a fucking choice. It's what you signed up for. Yeah, it's like you said you want to be on the high performance team. Yeah. You want to make this next level. Then you don't have a choice. There's no options. If you give yourself the option, you always take it.
And that's not me beating my chest. It's actually for me, it brings me peace. You have to go to these things, so it doesn't matter if you like it or not. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's like practice at this time. It's like you have no choice in the matter. It's like, okay, I'm going to practice. It's like, hey, workouts at this time. Okay, I have to go to work out. It's like, well, I have all these other things to balance. Like, too bad. Figure it out. Right. Like, if sport is recreational for you, sure, you can give yourself the option. You know why? Because there's nothing at stake. Right? That's why it doesn't matter. So you have the option. If you're a high-performing athlete or trying to be a high-performing athlete or move up to, the high school level, the college level, the pro level, whatever, you don't have the fucking option.
Yeah.
So accept the reality.
The sooner you accept that, I think the more peace you're going to have.
Accept the reality that you don't have a choice. It's not like what's harder to make time for. It's like, it doesn't matter if it's harder to make time for. You make time for practice because it's mandatory. You don't give yourself the option.
What other option do you have?
Yeah, you make time to train because you don't have an option.
Right.
They're parallel. They're synonymous.
Totally.
Right? Like, there is no option. So if you're a high-performing athlete, stop giving yourself the option or have this illusion of choice. It doesn't exist if you're a high performer.
Yeah, don't allow yourself to stress about things you can't control, I think is that always helped me anyway. If I knew I didn't have control over it, I'm literally not even giving it a conscious thought because it doesn't.
No, do not give yourself the illusion of choice. If you are a high-performing athlete, you do not have the illusion of choice. It does not exist. There is no choice. You will go to practice. You will go train. You will recover.
Or you will not.
Or you will not. You will not succeed.
Okay, this one's kind of funny, but who eats the most on road trips? Probably me, because you're probably cutting.
Yeah.
So you're probably trying to go the other way.
Yeah. I'd be cutting weight. You'd be like stacking up pounds.
Yeah.
Like, no.
So it's like pretty funny question. It's a fun one, but I think it's obvious answer.
That'd be a miserable bus ride. I'd be fucking miserable.
Can't even imagine. Okay. Long bus rides. Would you rather watch a movie, listen to music, or sleep, or some combination?
Oh, a combination of movie and sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I like the road trip's always fun. That way, let's put on a movie or something like that.
Yeah.
Music's fine
Especially
too.
if you're watching with somebody. It's
you're kind of watching something. You shoot the shit, and if you have time, take a nap. If it works for you. But I'd rather if it's me, I'm watching a movie on a road trip. Like no different than planes or anything else like that. I'm watching a fucking movie. I can't sit there for 5, 6, 7 hours just listening to music and just staring at the back of the seat. I can't do that.
And the sleep is so uncomfortable.
Right? Or I like to read. Like I'll read on planes or I'll read on buses. Like I'll read something for pleasure. You know what I mean?
Totally.
It's harder to read textbooks for school when you're fucking on the bus and shit because it just for me I think that would stress people out.
Yeah.
Personally, but if I'm reading for pleasure, I enjoy it. I'll do that. So movie, read, or nap.
I don't know if it makes any sense. I could read very well on a plane. If I read in the car, I feel like I'm gonna puke.
Yeah, I don't know why.
My head gets all.
I don't know why it's different.
It is okay. So it's not just me.
No.
Okay. Do you train harder after a win or after a loss? Neither, because you have to be. The standard has to be the standard no matter what happens, right? You have to be an everyday MFer.
Yeah, I don't think. Again, that's an illusion of choice. It's like, well, what made you win in the first place?
Yeah, hard training probably.
Hard training. And what made you? What happened to a loss? Like, well, you can't train less.
Yeah.
So, it should be just consistent, like progressive. Train progressively.
I remember our coaches used to say, "I hate to lose more than I love to win."
Yep.
And I remember. Ironically, sometimes they would say after, like the film session after a win is sometimes going to be harsher than after a loss because they're like, after a loss, you're still going to get the same coaching.
Yeah.
But it's like sometimes you're getting screamed at after a win and you're like, fuck, like we won. And then you kind of realize they're like, after a loss, you already know you lost. You're already in the dumps.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to give you the same feedback and get the same message across, but the delivery might be a little adjusted.
Yeah. The lessons you can learn from winning can still be the same from losing.
Yeah.
If you're proactive about it.
Yeah.
You can't just watch your own highlight reels or just think about your highlight reels. You could definitely celebrate your successes, but you could still take away lessons from win. Just as you would have lost if you treated it that way, the same mentality.
So do you train harder? No, you train the same because your standard is established regardless.
You train.
But what do you hate more? You probably hate more losing than you love winning.
Yeah.
I always kind of like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Early morning lift or late night study session, which is tougher?
Late night study session.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, it's already something like
I love lifting.
Yeah. Hopefully you like to train. Maybe you don't like to, but there's going to be some days you don't.
I don't love training early, but
hopefully you're intrigued by your classes. Hopefully it's something that, you're curious about to learn. But studying can definitely be a stressful pain in the ass if it's something you're not as passionate about or not as curious about. So now it becomes like a mandatory task.
Right.
So studying late night would be way tougher, in my opinion, than an early morning lift. I would fucking rather do an early morning lift. You could say 5 a.m. lift. I would rather do that than like a 9 p.m. study session. Fuck that.
Fuck that. Okay. This is a good one. Common misconception. We've discussed it at length.
We love common misconceptions for the viewers.
Mid-season goal, maintain or improve. So for the athletes that cut out in-season training, we've hopefully addressed that by now with multiple articles and posts and everything. So now you get the athlete who has the right mindset. They say, okay, I am going to lift in season. But then they go, I can't get any better because it's in season. I better just maintain. Well, that's what we have to address now. That's obviously not true.
What the fuck does maintain? So me and Rayo signed a podcast, obviously, because he knows. He's like, I hate the word maintain. I'm like, yeah, what does maintain mean?
Right.
Because if you haven't won your championship or won whatever the award was or PR'd or best, what are you maintaining?
Right.
What does that mean?
Mediocrity.
The
maintenance of mediocrity.
Yeah. What do we maintain?
Gold fucking star.
what are we maintaining? I'm just going to do the same thing over and over again. It's like, no, like it's progressive training. It's like progressive training. There's not maintenance. It's training in season. It's not maintenance. I don't like that fucking word. In season means maintenance.
Because you already approached the bar in the workout with a poor attitude.
Just check the box mentality. Like, what does that mean? We're in season. We got to maintain. No, we need to train and progress.
Yeah.
You can still progress in season. In season is the longest uninterrupted training cycle we have.
Yeah.
We cannot afford to waste it. So why the fuck we piss it away with that mentality of we're just going to hold on versus we still have a lot of wiggle room to break the wall down with good structured progressive training. Why the fuck would we what does that fucking mean maintain?
Right.
You jump high enough, you run fast enough, Okay, great. So doing the same thing is not going to keep you there because your body hits homeostasis. So you need to continually progress in some regard.
Right.
So if you want to hold on to those qualities and considering the fact that you want to put hay in the barn because there's going to be shit that comes up. You're going to get sick. Things go wrong. You have a study exam. Like you're not going to feel very good. That takes away from something. You're going to naturally have a down effect at some point in your season. So why don't you put some hay in the fucking barn? Doesn't mean maintain it because then you're in debt. So you might as well fucking progress. You're right, 1%, however that looks like for you, and have the mentality of I'm here to improve. I'm here to do this and look to move the needle, not just I'm comfortable here. I'm just going to do the same thing. No, that's
going to lead to all your KPIs actually decreasing.
We've seen that.
Yeah, having that shitty mentality.
Discussion before. We looked at the numbers last year, and we talked about the podcast too. It's like everyone that was literally trying to push the needle in season got progressively better by playoffs. They felt better, less chance of injury.
Yeah.
The ones that were just quote unquote once or twice training, kind of the same thing over and over again, they got progressively worse. No shit, that's 6 months of not progressing. Your body's at homeostasis, and now it gets worse because then there's natural off days that come from being sick and rest, school stress, whatever. So fuck the word if you say maintain, I think it's misinformed.
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean. If I ask them, what do you mean by maintain? Maintain what?
Yeah.
Maintain what? When you say we're doing maintenance in season, what does that mean to maintain?
Right.
You're not. Are you the fastest on your team? Are you the strongest on your team? Are you the most skilled on your team? No. What the fuck are you maintaining?
Right.
Your average performance? No. We're not about that. Could not do it.
Because the reality is, every day you either get better or you get worse. There's no maintaining because when I maintain and I stay the same and my competition gets better, guess what just happened relatively?
Yeah, you got worse.
I got worse.
Yeah.
Right?
So there's no get rid of that word maintenance in the training realm. Makes no sense.
And last question here, which probably will have the same answer, funny enough. If you could cut one thing out of in-season training, what would it be? And for me, it would be that mentality.
Yeah, I would. If I could get one through in-season training, it's the illusion of choice.
Yeah.
It's the illusion of choice.
That too.
Like, oh, I'm too busy in this. Like, you are not the only one.
Because the people winning that championship have the same barriers you have. They're just overcoming in spite of.
High-performing athletes perform regardless of circumstance and how they feel. It doesn't matter if this goes wrong, that goes wrong. They're quick to adapt, quick to learn, quick to implement, quick to course correct. For every bullshit excuse you come up with, as valid as it might be, doesn't take away from like the hardness of it or the difficulty of it, overcoming it. It still has to be overcome to get the result you want.
Right.
So it's that illusion of choice. It's that mentality where everything's so busy. It's like, but that's what you chose.
Right.
And if you choose to be a high performer, then you have to do the things that are necessary to do it. Otherwise, go play recreational.
Right.
That's fine too. Give yourself the choice because there's nothing at stake anymore.
Right.
Right. But if you're choosing to get something that a very few percentage of people ever get the opportunity to do, you don't have a choice. That's what they're doing, if not more.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Right. So
Spider-Man for you.
It's one thing I'd take away from is get rid of that illusion of choice. Get rid of the excuses, the objections that are in the way. They're irrelevant.
Right.
You need to find a solution to the problem and navigate through it versus a simple avoidance strategy or excuse-dependent strategy. It's not helping. And furthermore, I go back to saying, parents, you're a big responsibility in this too. Help encourage your athlete to find solutions versus default back into objections and excuses dependent, right? Like say, okay, so-and-so, like, yes, you have a busy school schedule. Yes, you have practice this time. We have to make time to train. Let's look at your schedule. How can we find time? How can we make the time to train? Versus, oh, little Jimmy over there is busy, so he can't train. It's like, okay, that's fine. Then little Jimmy's going to have to manage his expectations. And you as a parent have to manage your expectations of what your son or daughter is going to be capable of. Because already they're making excuses of why they can't do something.
Right.
Which means you've put a limit to what their capabilities are. Or how they can even build it any further.
Right.
Now the conversation's off the table. You've made a decision. Manage your expectations if you choose to fall to excuses and objections.
Right.
Done.
There's not too much traffic on the extra mile, right?
Not a lot.
Very
lonely road.
When you're on a team, my additional advice would be like choose your friends and choose who you hang out with wisely when you're on a big team because those quitting conversations are very contagious and those motivated, positive conversations are also very contagious. So depending on who you surround yourself with, really, you're the average of the 5 people you hang out with type thing.
Yeah.
Choose to hang out with those people who choose hard all the time, right?
Yep.
That would be my biggest kind of...
Well, that's why successful rooms are successful, right? Because the people are all doing the same thing. They all have the same goal, same vision, the same execution, the same lifestyle, right? So if you put yourself in that room, you're bound to get better, right? You're going to rise. You're going to literally be forced to rise to meet their standards and their expectations. So You know what I mean? Like if you're around a group of guys on a team or girls on a team and it's all negative, it's like, well, that's toxic. And now how are you setting yourself up to succeed? Again, if you want to win a championship, you want to go to college, get a scholarship, what are those people doing?
Right.
We've talked about this billions of times already, but you're going to have to just do things that are quote unquote considered abnormal.
Right.
Like they always with the buzzwords, discipline, perseverance, hard work, sacrifice.
Cool. Show me what it looks like.
What the yeah. What does that mean to you? What have you sacrificed besides all the time you've talked about just bullshit excuses? Mm-hmm. The only thing you sacrificed is your time because you wasted fucking talking about why you can't do something.
Right.
Nobody cares.
Like I said, the sooner as an athlete you realize two things. A, you don't have a lot of choice in a lot of things if you want to be great. And B, you're not special. You're not unique.
No.
I think it actually will bring you a lot of peace. Like I remember with training to college and we'd have like 6 a.m. lifts and some of the kids are having that feeling bad for yourself type kind of conversation. And I'm like, guys, listen. Do you think the teams in Alberta who are kicking our ass, do you think they don't have the same problems? Do you think it's probably not 20 degrees colder there right now with 3 feet of snow? And they're getting up to lift too, but guess what? They're just doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of the motto. Just do it anyway.
Yeah. Perform regardless of how you feel.
Perform regardless of how you feel.
It's, beating a dead horse. You've said that a billion times. And the message just needs to get, again,
it's like the Nike, just do it, but it's just do it anyway.
Yeah. It's always like these misconceptions of, I don't even know where they come from. We talked about in the last episode too. I don't know where they come from. It's just who is educating the people? Like, do these people who are educating you have experience at that level? How are you vetting them? How you justifying that their advice or their opinions are sound? Do some research.
Right.
Do some research. Talk to actual people doing the thing. Talk to parents of athletes doing the thing.
Right.
What did their lifestyle look like? What were they doing? Versus so-and-so told me like, oh, they went to high school and they did this thing once. It's like, why? Okay, so why is their opinion the word of law now?
Right.
Right? Like, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole again, but it's, you want real.
That guy gave me the answer I wanted to hear, so that's who I'm going to.
Yeah, you're going to believe it because
not the answer I needed.
No, it's the answer because it lines up with my point of view and it's easier.
Right.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. It's like, well, why?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to diagnose something.
Right.
Right? Whose opinion or advice is more sound or more likely to be valid?
Right.
Right? Talk to those people that are doing the thing, living the thing, have experience of the thing. Ask about their hardships. Ask about their day-to-day schedule. Ask about their week, some of the hardships they had to overcome, how they overcome them. Ask better questions. Be curious for the answer and understand that's probably going to be the answer you want to hear if you're making excuses because you're going to realize it doesn't matter.
Right.
They found solutions. They're doing the thing that you want to do. They found solutions. It's your turn to find solutions.
With the same roadblocks you're experiencing, they just find a way around them.
They're not unique.
Yeah.
They're not unique. Different scenarios, but same objections.
Yeah.
So make it work. Find a solution. Like there's no substitute.
And that is a wrap.
Simple. That was good. That was quick. Rapid fire in-season questions.
Yeah,
I like
was
that.
Fun.
No, it's good. Kick off a new school year. Everyone's excited. Good energy. Lots of good training to come. Lots of good performances to come. We're excited for a lot of our kids, a lot of our guys and girls off doing great things, and we're excited to keep moving the needle forward. All right, guys, this is the Performance Matters Podcast. Follow us. We're on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, and then we'll see you all next time.
Peace.